was able to read the defense. He was able to call like little small audibles.
His throwing is much improved over the season.
I'm over here in the south side of Chicago, 35th and Damon, doing my veterans tailgate today, baby. This is all about the veterans.
Defensive line's got to get better.
We got a good tight end. That's all you got to do is play to the kid's strength.
Bears, 24-21.
Offense looked good.
Glad for everybody to make it. Bear down, and hopefully I'll see everybody next week.
Bear down, people.
Welcome to Halas Hall Report, everybody. Coming off the loss to the Jets, we're going to have a couple Packer fans come on from the Frozen Tundra Network to discuss the Packer game and do the live stream. Excuse me. So what everybody think of the Jets' loss last week without Fields? We'll start with Jason. We haven't spoke to Jason in a few weeks. Unmute you, Jay.
I'm sure you're real depressed about that too. I don't know. It felt normal.
You're muted.
I don't have really much to say about the game. I think this season's pretty much lost, and we're just going through the motions, and everybody's pretty much looking forward to next year and see what happens. I do like watching. I do like watching Montgomery. I hope there's something they can work out with him. But I'm sad about Mooney. I don't know what else to say. I'd like to see one of these other wide receivers establish themselves. That would be nice.
That's where Claypool should step it up. You know what I mean? He's had multiple weeks to know the offense, so now is better time than ever.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dan?
Last week's game, I wasn't surprised. He had Simeon out there, and most of the defense wasn't there. Jackson getting hurt and out now for the year, and not much to say about last week's game. I don't think we're going to win another game this year.
What?
Realistic.
Got to be honest. You're muted, Woody. Unmute yourself.
Sorry. I'll proceed. Our defense didn't show up. Obviously, we did. We gave up like 460-some yards to them. We made their third-string quarterback look like a Pro Bowler. They had more rushing yards than we did, so obviously our defensive line couldn't stop the run. The only bright spot we had is that we had 2 sacks and we didn't turn the ball over. And Sanborn, again, 14 tackles, 10 solo. So,
I like that guy coming out in the preseason. Watch him in the preseason. Liked him then. I'm like, I hope we keep him, and glad we did.
Agreed. Ken?
Well, as you and I sat and toiled throughout the game last week, I mean, yeah, pretty much what everyone else said. I mean, Sanborn is a bright spot.
Really?
Claypool a little more involved was nice. Komet finally being used properly or better. So, I mean, there are some positives. It's not all negative. I mean, there's some progression we're seeing.
all negative.
No, there's some progression in certain areas. I mean, look at like last year we didn't use the tight end at all. Look at even the beginning of the season, we barely used Komet. Now Komet's a part of this offense. And now you saw more Claypool last week since we traded him. So I mean, those are some positives. The running game is still a positive. I mean, everything else is, between injuries and everything and lack of personnel, I guess would be a good way of putting it. Yeah, I agree with you, Woody. But there are a couple positives. I mean, you're seeing offensively some things start to trend right, where you can see it building for next year. And Sanborn, like Dan said, I mean, we're seeing what we saw in the preseason. Like, okay, this guy really made the Roquan trade seem that much better.
He has more tackles than he does since that trade.
So, I mean, it's not all bad. There is some good. I mean, I'm upset that we're still without, Brisker and Gordon, but I don't know. Our defense is just, yeah. Do we even have a defense? Yes.
Not really, unfortunately.
It's like that. It's like when we changed that defensive scheme from last year to this year. We're not getting to the quarterback. In that scheme, you got to get to the quarterback, or they're going to throw all over you.
Is it scheme or is it lack of personnel, though?
Personnel.
It could be both. You know what I mean? Like I said, I like Justin Jones. I mean, his tackle's been going down every week, but he's always a presence in that defensive line. But it's like you got to get to. Our only sack last week was Watts. We have one sack last week. That's telling me that obviously these players aren't getting to the quarterback. And like I said, Mike White was throwing all over us, and their running backs, Knight and Carter, were running all over us as well. 466 yards total we gave up last week.
Because I think, like with the offensive line, for example, like we're one starter short of having a solid O-line. Would you say our D-line is maybe 2 or 3 or 1? I mean, how many players away is that D-line from pressure?
2. I think we need edge rushers.
So 2. So we need 2 end rushers, and we're good. Maybe.
It's a start, and I think it would be solid.
Well, the positive thing from last week to the week before is penalties.
Yep.
Do you even know how many penalties we had and for the game?
Isn't that been like isn't that been going a trend over the last 3 weeks, Mike?
Yeah, penalty after penalty.
We only had one penalty last week.
No, and they only had one.
Yep.
I mean, and because I remember the Mexico. Well, when I was on the cruise ship game, we had a lot of flags. That was Atlanta, right? I mean, I guess that's one thing that was nice to correct, because that killed us for like 2 or 3 games.
True. All right, before we bring on the cast of Frozen Tundra Network, we're going to do studs and duds from last week. Who was your studs and duds from last week? Then we'll get into this game. We'll start with Jason.
Well, obviously, you would have to say the stud would probably be Sanborn. I mean, he's looked great. I mean, that's anytime you can get a guy that's basically out of college, you get for no value and provides you with the season like he's having. That's something. Them diamonds don't come very often like that. So I mean, dud, I'd have to say our entire defense overall is a dud right now, because we can't stop anything at all. We're getting 30, 40 points put up on us every week. It's ridiculous already.
Agree, and like what somebody else said, we made White look like Brady against us.
Hello.
300-something yards. Like, you can't let nobody do that to you.
Well, there is a reason that they did bench Wilson for White. I mean, he has had pro games that he's looked all right in before, but you got so much draft capital and Wilson, they're trying to see if he's got what it takes. I mean, he's a good MILF hunter, but not such a good quarterback.
Right. Dan, who was your studs and duds?
Stud would have to be Sanborn. And then dud, I agree with Jason. It has to be the defense.
Woody?
Well, like I said, everybody's saying Sanborn could have been Montgomery. He had 79 yards last week, like 7.9 or 5.6 a rush. Congrats to Pringle having the first touchdown as a Bear, or only touchdown. I hate to say it, but that is true. Our dud, I'd say defensive line. Until they prove me wrong by stopping this rush and sacking the quarterback, I'm going to say defensive line. And we're going to have a problem today because we have another duo rush with Dillon and Jones.
And they killed us last game.
Yeah.
Them two killed us.
Yeah.
Ken?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sanborn and Stacy's question at the same time. So Stacy says, asks if Sanborn's doing so well because the D line sucks. Well, yeah, but the thing is Sanborn is stopping. He's cleaning it up. He's making the tackle. You know what I'm saying? So he's still the stud because he's stopping them. He's at least stopping them, but he's making us the trade that trading away Roquan not look like it was a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? He's justifying Poles' move there every game. And considering he was an unrestricted rookie free agent that no one wanted, and he's now the starting linebacker. And for the last, 3 weeks, he's been usually the unanimous stud on this team. It says a lot not only about Sanborn, but about Ryan Poles. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna change my vote. It's not Sanborn. My stud last week is Poles because of the moves he's made and the personnel he's starting to bring in. We're starting to see, how right it can be. The duds is going to be the regime that got fired last year because they're the ones who set us up for this melee this year. Because the moves they made really set this season up. I mean, not that Pace drafted all bad players, but Pace made enough moves that, this D-line is just terrible right now. He made enough bad moves that the O-line never got shored up at all. Jenkins was a Pace draft, right? And he's been good. But where's his free agents? They're all trash. So, I mean, I'm gonna make my stud Poles and my dud Ryan Pace, even though he's got fired, it's still his footprint that Poles has to deal with.
And Mike, if you could bring that question back up about the Sanborn, about the defensive line. Somebody put a comment up there. Yes, I say yes and no because Sanborn, he's hitting those holes quick. He's not just sitting back there in the second level waiting for a play to come to him. He goes to the place. So it's a yes and no answer to this.
Actually, all over the field, everywhere the camera is, Sanborn's usually in the view every time for the most part.
His right to left isn't. He's not as explosive right to left as, say, Urlacher was or as Roquan, but he's shown ability in his right to left. Does that make sense? I mean, his coverage still, but as a rookie, he's made a couple rookie mistakes, but so did Roquan. And that's the thing I think we got to remember as fans is Roquan was year 3, year 4, whatever, a couple years in the system. Everyone expects when a rookie comes in that they perform as well as a guy who was in the system for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Guys, when you get a new person, there's an adjustment period, and we need to keep remembering that because we always seem to forget that. Oh my God, he's not why does Fields have to be as good as Aaron Rodgers in his first year in the league? He has to be as good as Aaron Rodgers in year 15. He doesn't. Those are the comparisons we always make all the time. Every so often, you got Brisker, you can make that comparison. He probably can live up to it. But he's like a rarity as far as rookies are concerned, right? So the fact that Sanborn's left to right isn't there yet, I'm not concerned because he's still showing the promise.
Gotcha. All right, let's speed this up. I'll do my studs and duds real quick. The dud is I'm with Woody, the defensive line. They've literally had, I think, 1 sack in 3 or 4 games. That's just worse than the league. It's got to be better. My stud, not to mention off of Woody again, but mine's Montgomery. He had 14 carries for 79 yards, like you said, 5.6 a carry, but he also caught 3 for 34.
Yep.
So over 100-yard day for him without Fields. So hopefully they continue to feed him the ball and not do a lot of quarterback design runs. But I mean, we'll see. You know what I mean?
And I like what Stacy Kruth just said about Sanborn comparing to Nick K.
Yeah.
It's a very close comparison.
Oh yeah, I was
Oh, yeah.
thinking that too myself.
All right, we're gonna get into the Packers game. While we do that, I'm gonna show the intro to the Frozen Tundra Network because we got a couple of them coming on. Simon will jump on here in a second. Nick will be with us in a couple minutes. So
Avert your eyes.
Well, hey, I was gonna say.
Aaron Rodgers, the day that he decides to show up, the defense doesn't. I want the whole package. I want the whole thing this time.
I'll tell you what, Romeo Doubs is looking good. He is going to be wide receiver number 1 by the end of the season. Book it.
Dillon are going to be part of this. They're going to get a lot of catches this year. They're going to get even more. Jones already showed that he can handle a big load of catches.
9 different receivers had 90 or more yards, in the 7 games that Devontae was out.
He stuck with this team for so long. He said he wants to retire here. Why not just let it be? I mean...
Hey everybody, this is Gerhard de Beer, former Green Bay Packer offensive lineman, and you're watching Frozen Tundra Network with Bill the Packer fan and Packer owner Nick. Enjoy.
Man, that music gives me chills. Oh, wait up, my window's open.
welcome Simon to the show. We got Nick coming in a few minutes. But what do you think of today's game, Simon? We'll start with you. Banged up and everything. Both teams not doing well. What do you think?
I don't know. I think after seeing Jalen Hurts just run over us last week and Miles Sanders, I think this is going to be it's going to be a tough game for the defense again. If Fields runs for over 100 yards on us, I'm going to lose my mind. But I feel like the Bears are a little more dinged up on defense than we are. Like a lot. I don't even know who your guys' best player is on defense. What do you think? Like
Sanborn right now.
Sanborn.
Yeah.
Sanborn on the defense for sure.
But secondary's beat up. I don't know. I think it's going to be kind of a close game. It just depends on the time of possession. There is a way for the Bears to win this game if they keep the offense off the field and they keep Rodgers a little cold on the sideline.
Well, we just, like I said before, we got to stop Cobb. He kills us every game. Cobb.
Yeah.
Well, Watson's been emerging too.
Hey, Simon, there is a positive for the Bears. Looks like Vildor's not going to play. Now we have a chance.
Right?
Oh boy!
I know you hate Vildor.
A female on for the Bears.
There is a female on our page.
I hate Vildor from, oh my God. He's just, like Ken said before, he has one good play, but then he has 16 bad plays in a row.
Yeah.
I can't stand him.
Well, the answer to that Mary lady's question, there is a female on the panel.
Yeah, we have
She's
Samantha
getting over
on there.
being sick. She's getting over being
Samantha's
sick.
doing her makeup today. That's why she's not on.
Plus, she's at the game with
Oh,
Billy.
that's true. That's true.
I sent the link in the comments, so if you want to come on and be a female judgment, you can jump on.
Yeah, today's going to be a big game of running by both teams.
Oh, yeah.
It's just,
and Green Bay knows we can't stop the run, and they killed us before with Dillon and Jones.
Hey, this is two defenses that can't stop the run.
Yeah, Montgomery had a game last time too. I think he had 50, 60 yards on us.
Like I said, the first time we played earlier in the year, we went down and scored right away. I was like, wow, this is, and then bam, we just game over.
The big difference between today's game and the first game, in the first game, Fields wasn't running as much, right?
True.
The Fields phenomena with running came a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
So this offense is running wise is a little different for the Bears than what you saw last time. So I know Packer fans had to go, oh crap, they're running Fields now. I mean, we had a hard enough time with the run when it was just Monty. Now we got to deal with this guy too. So it's going to be just a run game. It's just going to be run, and wait for Cobb to get wide open on a blown coverage, and there you go.
Right. Hey, Jason, when you're ready to talk, for some reason on your end, you got bad feedback. I'm not sure what it is, so I mute you. So don't take it personal. Just when you're ready to talk, unmute yourself.
You can't do that. That would piss me the fuck off.
Hey, if you were having sound issue, I do it to you too, bud. But let's get to predictions. We got about 7 minutes till noon, so let's get into some predictions. We'll start with Bear Fan Dan. What do you think the score is going to be?
You know, as much as this day means to me personally, and that I'm going for the Bears to win this game. Like 17-14.
Oof.
17-14 Bears?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll move to Ken next.
Yeah, go figure.
Hey, don't wait last.
I say the Bears will win the rushing yard number. That might be it. God, the score for this game is ridiculous because it's going to be run with the occasional pass. I don't know. I mean, both teams are banged up. I mean, I'll go 28-26 Bears. Why not?
And I don't even say it. Don't.
Woody?
Woody's got by a field goal.
Yeah. Listen, people are going to question my Bears loyalty, but everybody knows who I love. I don't see us winning today. I really don't. Like I said, Cobb is gonna. He always kills us. The last game with Aaron Jones and Dylan, they ran over us as well. And that's, I know we have Sanborn. That was with Roquan. I say we lose 27-17 today.
Jason.
28-21 Packers. Sorry.
No, don't be
I
sorry.
don't apologize. Fuck.
But CJ couldn't make it with us, actually. He told us his score prediction in the chats. You guys probably seen it. He said Bears are going to win 28-21. Before I give my prediction, we're going to move to Simon on his prediction.
I got 28-20 Packers.
28-20 Packers.
Wow, Mike's writing it down. Holy fucking shit.
I know, right?
That way I don't have to go back and rewatch. I got to rewatch all this.
No. He'll just ask me my record midweek.
But for I just wanted to compare it to make sure we were the same. Is all. Yeah. I didn't want to be wrong.
Like, Milo's got a good score. 31-28 Bears is what Milo says. That's wow. Interesting scores I'm seeing in the chat.
Yeah, I saw a couple too.
Man, for how much I want the Bears to win with the banged up defense doing crappy, even if Rodgers isn't 100%, I don't see the Bears winning this game. I think the Packers win 24-13.
And he wants to stay a game ahead of me.
You know what? I mean, guys, to be honest with you, the game is so can go any which way with the way both these teams, the state of these teams is right now. This is like this is one of those crapshoot call games because honestly, both teams' defenses have huge issues. Both teams' offenses have their bright spots. It's just like both teams can run. Neither team can stop the run. Both teams have good quarterbacks. I mean, it's just one of those games. Like it's going to be whoever gets a rare stop is going to win this game, which is weird for a Bears-Packers game.
And Brian Long says, "How about a tie?" I'm like, "Well, if we tie, that would be a Bears win."
If I see a fucking tie, oh my god!
I'd love to see it. Honestly, then our
no,
the same.
I would
the same number of wins.
I'd hate a tie so much.
So yeah, I think today Green Bay overcomes.
Ooh, hold on a sec.
The win record.
My house here. What's your score prediction, Devin?
21-17.
For who?
Packers.
Don't walk away from that seat. You chill with us all game. No running away.
Wow.
Yeah, last week he left at halftime. He's like, they're
I
getting
would have left
killed.
earlier than that. That game last week, Jesus Christ. Thank God I didn't go to that game. I was supposed to go, too.
Yeah, save that money.
Yep. I went to the Giants game and freaking Jones fumbled out with a minute left. That punt.
Yeah.
All right, kickoff's here in a couple minutes. I'm going to log off my YouTube and Twitter. Appreciate the show, everybody. We will be back next week, an hour before game time. See everybody then.
Yeah, go, Pack, go. Right, go.
What's going on, Mike?